What is going on, guys? Money Webby here, back again on Saturday. We got a 3-game slate here tonight. It's a pretty gross one, but we're still going to make it work here tonight. Coming off a pretty good night last night, Anthony Davis really let me down as my stud of the night, but everyone else, Dario Saric as well, kind of got taken over by Ersan Ilyasova somehow, but everyone else did pretty solid. Nikolai Jokic had a good night. Dwayne Dedmon had a good night. Tyrone Wallace was solid at his price tag. But the best call of last night was my lottery pick, my cheap guy, the bare minimum salary, Martian Brooks, dropped 32 drafting points, only 3,000, so returned over 10 times value. So that was a great call there. If Anthony Davis just did what he was supposed to do against the Cavs, it could have been a really good night with those kind of plays. But we got some nice plays here tonight on Saturday. My money's 6, so drop a like in the video if you're ready to go. Win some money here tonight. Let's just hop into it. We got Kevin Durant at the top. I think we just got to go with him. His upside is the highest out of anyone by far. Maybe Whiteside can compete with them at the upside standpoint, but we don't know how many minutes Whiteside will get in that game. Coming off 19 minutes last game, but Kevin Durant in this game against Sacramento, a very good matchup. They struggle against small forwards pretty much all season long. And Kevin Durant, not a bad game last game in the first half. 21 drafting points, so on pace for around like 40 plus. I think you just got to bite the bullet at his salary. I don't love the price at $10,900, but he did pretty well against Sacramento earlier this year, dropping 47 drafting points. I think if he can just get around 50 drafting points, he'll be worth the price, even though it seems like kind of an overpay, but there's just not much value at the top of these studs. They're kind of some gross games where no one really has like a great matchup in any of these games. So Kevin Durant, at his salary, he should be able to back his way into 40-plus drafting points. Klay Thompson is back, so that could kind of space out the court for Kevin Durant as well. We don't know how rusty and like what Klay Thompson really is looking like now. Maybe his minutes are kind of limited, but I think Kevin Durant's going to carry the load offensively. He was doing absolutely insanely good when Steph was out of the lineup, and they had Klay and Draymond, so this is back to what they have. So Kevin Durant, lock him in there. For my second guy, Terry Rozier, at 6,700. He's really been struggling against just teams in general the last 3 out of the last 4 games. Utah and like Phoenix and Portland just can't get the shot to drop, shooting a lot of threes. But this game against Toronto, I think he can honestly do it. Point guards against Toronto have been doing pretty well recently. I think this is a good matchup for him against Kyle Lowry. I feel like he's a little bit too athletic for Lowry. I think he can drive around him and get some driving opportunities, maybe some driving kicks, and he fills it up in the other categories besides scoring. So if he can just score a little bit more in this game and get close to 20 points at Boston here, Jaylen Brown currently questionable. Like it even better if Jaylen Brown is out. So Terry Rozier, solid matchup. The scores on the Celtics lately have been the small forwards with Tatum and Marcus Morris, but the small forward defense on Toronto is very good. So I think Terry Rozier can honestly be a sneaky play here. His salary has dropped to $6,700 because he's been struggling so much from the field. So if he can just bounce back here, hit a few more shots, he can return some good value at this price tag. So lock him in there. For my third guy, I mentioned that Whiteside has great upside tonight. And then I'm a little bit concerned about his minutes, but I still think he's worth rolling out there. Maybe more in GPP because he's just so up and down with the minutes and he can just blow up in your face any like given matchup. But this matchup is so good against Brooklyn. The 2 games against them, he's only gotten 26 minutes on average, and he's still dropped 41 drafting points on average. So he doesn't need that many minutes more to really just have a huge night, like 19 minutes against Chicago. Still at 27 drafting points. So if we can just see around like 25 minutes in this game, I think he can do enough to return value, honestly, in this game against Brooklyn. Big game for Miami here. They kind of need to win just to secure their playoff spot. So Whiteside, I think I got a few more minutes here. Looked pretty good in the 19 minutes he had against Chicago, so he should be good to go in this matchup. A much tougher opponent in Brooklyn compared to Chicago, and the game should be much closer. So Whiteside, lock guy. Buddy HIELD here. This guy's been doing very well recently, getting solid run. Kind of their #1 scorer in the Kings recently. So I think we'll keep that going here against Golden State in more of an upper tempo game. Buddy HIELD has been playing very well against them this year. In limited minutes, shooting 50% from the field, averaging 25 DraftKings points, only 22 minutes on average. And now with the minutes kind of being bumped up to around 30 minutes or so, or high 20s, should get a few more shots in this game. Normally he benefits from these kind of matchups, I feel like, in the higher scoring games. So I think Buddy HIELD's going to lead the charge again for this Kings offense and have a solid game. And also, we mentioned that Klay Thompson is a little bit rusty and a little bit banged up from his injury. So maybe he'll be kind of going through the motions a little bit more on defense. And Buddy HIELD can take advantage of that. So lock him in there. Normally, the Warriors don't really take these lower opponents very seriously on defense, so Buddy HIELD definitely a good target there. And for my fifth and final guy, CARIS, very honestly, at 5,100 is a guy that could be sneaky here tonight. He's been getting solid run off the bench, and his usage has been crazy off the bench recently. Around 10 shots per game, getting some rebounds, assists. He's active with the steals. And against Miami, he's played very well against them this year. The field goal percentage hasn't been there, only 38%, but he's been filling it up in multiple categories with some steals, some assists, and some rebounds, averaging 30 DraftKings points per game around the minutes he's been getting. So I think he could be a solid 5 times value guy here tonight, only 5,100. In a game where Miami's bench is much worse defensively than their starters. So I think the Nets bench can honestly get some solid value in this game. Maybe him and Joe Harris are 2 guys you can pair up for some value here, because the Nets bench has been looking pretty good offensively. And Miami's bench, like I said, they're not great defensively. Their rim protector is Kelly Olynyk. They did get Bam Adebayo back, but he's not a great rim protector. So I think CARIS LeVert can have a solid game here. So lock him in there. And that's the top 5. We got Terry Rozier, Buddy HIELD, Kevin Durant, HASSAN Whiteside, and CARIS LeVert. And for my value guy of the day, the lottery pick, we're going to go with JAKOB, however you say his name, POELTL, whatever, 3,800 here, going against the Celtics. A solid matchup here considering what they're going to have defensively in that second line. Greg Monroe is their big man down there, and he's an offensive weapon. He's not great defensively. He doesn't have, I don't know, I feel like he just doesn't have that athletic ability to really be a shot blocker. And POELTL is definitely a great offensive player. So I think POELTL can really get some good rebounds on the offensive end and just have some easy layups around the hoop. I remember when they played, who was it against? When they played the Wizards, I remember Ian Mahimi was kind of killing Monroe on that second line. He was a good value guy there. So I think POELTL will have a similar kind of game. He's been getting some solid run recently, 18, 25, and 27 minutes. 3 out of the last 4 games. We know that Valanciunas is prone to not playing many minutes, and he can get in foul trouble in any given game. So I think POELTL can definitely be a good value guy at 3,800, consistently returning value. Set that game against Brooklyn. Not sure what happened there, but getting around 20 DraftKings points per game recently. Great to see there. 3,800. Lock him in there. So that is it. Gets you up to 4,900 remaining per player with that guy in the lineup. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Drop a like in the video if you did. Like I said, let's try to get over 100 plus likes. It's kind of a gross slate, but still worth playing. Good value to be had. Money still to be made. So let's keep it going, Money Mob. Hope you guys enjoyed. I wish you guys the best of luck on this Saturday slate. And if you haven't already, you can go and check out my MLB DraftKings picks video for the day. For today, if you're playing MLB, kind of give you a little bit of insight with my Money 6 on that slate as well. So hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow.